Welcome back. And as we mentioned earlier in the show, our first conversation for today is with none other than Miss Belize Universe, Rebecca Rath, as she shares with us her journey to Miss Universe 2017. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Rebecca, Belize.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You are one to reckon with. The country has been behind you. You are on a big journey, a long journey at that, and it's actually coming even closer. You are about to represent this country in Miss Universe. What's the mindset? What are you thinking? How do you feel?
This is a competition, so I'm very competitive. My plan is to go out there and represent Belize the best that I can, and just use the support that I've been getting at home as my driving force and my strength when I'm on that stage. So I'm excited.
Now, the last time we had a conversation with you was right after, obviously, the local Miss Belize pageant. And I think you were still kind of with your adrenaline rush as to trying to make it all soak in that you had won the title for Belize and would be heading to Miss Universe as the representative for our country. Talk to us now about what it's like to really come to terms with it, the work that's involved, but also the prestige.
When I was a little girl, I always watched the Miss Universe and the Miss USA pageants, and I never thought I would ever do a Miss Belize pageant, but now that I did it and I won, it changed me, in a way, it changed my life. I mean, I have so many people that look up to me and support me, and for Belize to actually really come together for something like this is amazing, and that I get to be a part of it really means a lot to me. So it's a big deal.
Have you been watching some of the tapes in terms of the way you move? You know, the things you do. Do you know exactly what's going to happen? Talk to me about.
You mean in the Philippines?
Yeah, in the Philippines.
Well, the Miss Universe pageant is 2 weeks long. So I arrive in the Philippines and I'm there for 2 weeks, and then the pageant is at the end of the 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what to expect when I'm there, so I'm trying to prepare for everything. But I have done a little bit of research about the Philippines, and I've talked to a couple of the girls and trying to learn a few Filipino words, just to communicate. But I'm trying to just prepare for everything and go there and do the best that I can.
Nice.
You've definitely been on the move since you've been crowned, and I mean, we've seen you obviously keep your social media pages updated. We see you all over the place, but interacting with people, which I think is very interesting. Why was that an important part of your preparation and heading into Miss Universe, and what has it changed within you in terms of your perspective?
I've traveled to elementary schools. I traveled to Orange Walk. That was actually one of my first trips. They showed me all around Orange Walk. I've been to tree lighting ceremonies, visited a bunch of schools, just locked away in villages, and I think being able to go there and interact with the kids and interact with the teachers and see that these kids look up to you and you give them something to strive to be like, that was pretty important. I mean, you got to play the role too. You are Miss Belize first before you are Miss Universe. So you want to be that example here in your own country first.
You didn't mention that a lot of people look up to you, which is true. That's true. So Rebecca, what motivates you on a daily basis? What drives you to do the things you do, and of course aspire to be a part of this?
The reason I entered the pageant in the first place was to represent Belize at Miss Universe. Belize has so much good, and I want to go there and make our mark. I want to go there and show the world the good that Belize has to offer. So my driving force is being able to represent my country. Yes.
And in the experiences that you've had moving around, the interaction with children, with people, I'm sure as adults as well, who look at you, admire you, and really want you to do well. Tell us about some of the things they say and how much it motivates you in continuing on this journey.
The most inspiring thing or touching thing that I've heard someone say is that I've brought the country together. I mean, with all these controversial issues happening and the country is kind of divided sometimes, I think it's great that everyone's able to come together and kind of just not forget about it, but focus on something positive for once. And I'm really glad that I get to be a part of that. So
it also comes with an immense amount of pressure.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So, and there are two levels. One, and I can tell, I've been following you obviously, so I know you've been exercising a lot. You've been going through quite a bit of training. So there is the preparation for what is expected of a Miss Universe to compete. And there's also the pressure of what Belizeans would love to see you be able to achieve.
Yes.
How do you balance that?
It's hard, I tell you, but this is the first time we're back in 9 years. So I want to go with a bang. I want them to know that we are back. So that means gym once and twice a day. That means eating right, getting your rest, drinking water, staying up to date on issues, keeping that constant conversation so that you know you're in that mindset. And not forgetting that, like I said, you're Miss Belize first. So you have to also do that and be an example here. So it's a lot of pressure, but I'm really, really excited, and I feel like I'll be very prepared going into the pageant. So that's
Following.
You are an athlete, and you made that your point going into Miss Belize, and it was almost another challenge for you to overcome, to be able to prove to yourself that you could do it. And it's interesting because athletes especially are very self-driven. They are able to know how to regiment themselves in terms of body exercise and conditioning. Is that part of what you use in your training for Miss Belize as well?
Absolutely. I use what sports taught me every day. I mean, at work, in this training, in every way. But sometimes you're in the morning. I'm sure you know you have to wake up early every day. You don't want to go to the gym. You're just like, oh, I just want to sleep. But you got to remember and keep your goal in mind and just get up and say, do it, do it. You just got to get to this goal because you have the whole country on your back. So you have to make sure that you can deliver. So
In sticking with the pressure part of things, since you have been crowned Miss Belize, what overwhelms you the most?
The support that I've been getting from all over the country. I mean, Dangriga, of course, they have my back. And so that was really a big motivation, going into this. They really were the ones that pushed me to. My parents, I mean, just so many people that lend their hand, whether it was an encouraging word or they helped financially, just to see the amount of support I've been getting, that's the most overwhelming part.
And you have been raising funds as well. Tell us about that process.
Well, it's a very expensive venture. I mean, you have to get a whole new wardrobe, you have to focus on your training, and when you go there, you want to be able to compete with those girls. You don't want to go there and look, just okay. You want to go there and compete. You have to take gifts for the girls, so it's a very expensive venture. But we've been coming along. We have a sponsorship package that we've been passing around, and we've been doing a lot of fundraising. So it's been coming along very, very, very well. So.
Okay.
Do you know the girls that you'll be competing against? Are you reaching out to them? Do you have friends over there so far that you'll be meeting when you go to the Philippines?
No one in the Philippines right now, but I've talked to a couple of the girls in the pageant, but I'm very competitive, so I'll talk to them, but they're competition, so you can't be too friendly, but no, there's some really nice girls, and I follow a couple of them on Facebook, and I think it's cool that they're doing really good things in their country as well. So I'm excited to meet everybody and just get to know all the girls as well.
From what you've studied when it comes to pageantry, and then again when it comes to Miss Universe, what do you think will be the biggest hump for you?
The biggest hump for me? I don't know. I'm not really thinking about what's going to be the hardest. I mean, walking in these shoes is definitely it's still coming along. These are 6-inch heels with a 2-inch platform. It's very difficult to walk in them, but I've been practicing, so I'm hoping that, when I get there, I just deal with the pain, it's all right. I got to do it.
That is such an honest thing to say. Yes. Many women out there appreciate you pointing out that heels hurt.
Yes. They look good, but they hurt.
And there are other elements to the pageant, and really and truly, we know it is important to be able to build your profile before you even get to the Philippines. We looked at some of the fan pages that have been started, and you have been doing very well with some of the fan pages. What is it like for you to be able to see? Because it's like a small competition before the actual competition, whether it's just based on a photo or whose preference people have in terms of queens.
I mean, there's tons of fan pages right now before the pageant, but the one on Facebook, Miss Universe Fanatic, has just been blowing up. I mean, Belizeans have been going all out. They've been voting every day, commenting on everything. And so I really have to tell you guys, thank you for that. It's unbelievable to see, like I said, everybody come together. But it's almost like I'm a mini celebrity, you know. And I never thought that I would be in a position like this, but it's different and it's fun. So
You are, and again I'll say this, you are a role model, a very likable person, and a role model to the country on a whole. There are a lot of young ladies who are vying for pageantry. They want to be a part of it, but there is always a holdback. What do you say to these young ladies who want to do it, but they're afraid to do it?
That if you want to get results you've never gotten, you have to do something you've never done. I think a lot of the times we're afraid to try new things because we're afraid of failure.
Yeah.
But the sooner we realize that failure is the best teacher and fear is just a part of the journey, that we'll get the confidence we need to do the things we want to do.
And looking at I want to go back to this buzz issue, because we also understand that you had the behind the scenes crew from Miss Universe come to do a special shoot with you. Tell us about that. That's a big deal.
Yes.
I don't have a full pageant history, but I can't recall that happening for other queens in Belize.
No, I don't think it's happened before. I think what really made them pay attention to Belize was the social media. And I see the interaction of the whole country, you know, behind this girl. And they did a little bit of research about me, contacted us and said, look, we want to come shoot a couple videos and pictures with Rebecca. And I made sure that they came and they saw Belize. We took them to the Keys, we took them to the waterfalls, the zoo. So, and of course the culture capital, I have to show my dangly.
Yeah.
But I really tried to give them a taste of what Belize was all about. And they, from what I heard from them, we got very positive feedback. So I'm hoping for the best with that.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, I think before the pageant for Miss Belize, you had an overwhelming support from Belizeans who live abroad. What is the support like from these folks to you?
Encouraging words. They message me almost every day telling me, you know, keep going, you're doing really well, and very, very encouraging. They've also helped financially, you know, and I've made a few connections in the US as well where I was able to get my evening gown sponsored.
Wow.
Yeah, so I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's beautiful.
I was gonna ask, but I know that's a big surprise.
Yes.
See, I'm so tempted to ask questions about the dress.
I can't tell you, you have to watch.
What is that process? I mean, that's important.
Oh, yeah.
When you step out in your evening gown, that's like your statement for the evening.
Yes, it is.
So what is the process like of making those types of decisions? And I really have to throw it into perspective that you've said countless times, you know, you weren't a girly girl. You weren't interested in hair and makeup and heels and dresses. So talk to us about how much you've been involved in the process and whether it's actually something that you enjoy now.
I've always liked fashion. I've looked at people wearing it and I thought it was always really pretty, but I never myself was very into it. I just admired it. But now that I have to, I am learning so much about the makeup and I love it. I love the makeup now. I mean, being able to put lashes on your whole face is it just pops. Yeah. But I'm enjoying it, and the fact that I'm learning a lot, these are skills too, you know, so it's very different, but I am taking it for a ride. I'm enjoying it.
Something tells me that you're a very adventurous young lady. Since winning the title of Miss Belize, and this is from a tourism standpoint, what has been the most beautiful part of this country that you've been to, that you've never been to, and say, you know what, my gosh, it was so nice to be here, and this place is beautiful?
Well, the most beautiful place in the world to me is Southwater Key in Dangriga. It's just a little slice of paradise. But I've actually done a lot of traveling to San Pedro. I have two guys, Victor and Enrique, that are training me out there, and they've been a huge help. So I've been spending a lot of time out there and gotten to know San Pedro. So that's the most beautiful new place that I've been to. But Southwater Key tops the list for me.
True to the South. We love that. And training for the pageant with the guys in San Pedro?
Yes.
What does that entail? Tell us the behind the scenes. How does one prepare to be a queen?
Walking for hours.
Yes,
you got to walk and you got to strut for hours.
Like walk in your heels?
In your heels,
okay.
Yes. You got to practice your swimsuit walk. Because for the pageant, you have a swimsuit walk and then you have an evening gown walk. And they're actually two very different walks.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
So the swimsuit walk is?
More fun, you know, bouncy and just very energetic. And then the evening gown is more classy and graceful. So you have to be able to make that switch, you know. And we've been working on just interviews, conversation, and they've been taking me around to meet a lot of people. But it's been a journey, I tell you.
Yeah.
I've changed so much, and I'm very grateful that I was given this opportunity. So.
And the interview styles, the conversations with people, usually there's a bit of etiquette training involved as well, posturing, and you had training in the States as well for this?
Yes, with the connection that I made for my evening gown, I actually, when I got my dress for the Miss Belize pageant, the boutique owner really hooked me up. She said, if you win, let me know and we'll work something out. So that's how I made the connect for the evening gown. And she has a team that she works with that they do interview training and walk training as well, makeup and hair. So I was in the States for a couple weeks where I had the training for makeup. I learned how to do my own makeup for stage and for everyday use, and then same thing for your hair. And then how you dress, how you sit, how you hold your back. It's so much. I tell you, I feel like I'm in school all over again. But it's
Who knew?
right? Who knew being a queen was so hard?
Have you thought about what life is going to be like for you following your return from the Philippines, whether be that you're successful or whether not?
I've thought about it a little bit, but like I said, I'm really, really focused on this pageant coming up. I already noticed a difference though for the 19th of November in Dangriga, which is my favorite holiday. I got stopped every 2 minutes to take pictures, and it was very different for me. Like, I'm not used to this. Okay, yeah, I'll take a picture with you. But I'm very happy that I bring a light. Like, people like to take pictures with me or be around me, that I bring a sense of positivity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that,
Good feeling.
yeah, that gives me a good feeling.
Good feel that
Okay.
your friends probably over the 19 said, I don't want to walk with Rebecca. She already catch you.
It'll take you half an hour to walk 5 minutes. What would be 5 minutes?
Yes, but it's fun though, because then you have to make sure your face is always done, or you're always
Dressed
yes,
properly.
Yes,
Yes.
so I guess you look good in your pictures all the time.
That's and how to pose for the
There you
photo.
go.
Now, of course, key elements of the pageant include the question. I mean, this is really
Yes,
where
they
it's
choose.
most important. What have you learned since, I can say now, since you have won the title, that people were extremely critical of the responses in the Miss Belize pageant, and they felt that they lacked the depth that we expect from people who will be your ambassadors.
Right.
Now, I won't ever underestimate the pressure that you're under in that moment itself. But what have you learned since then?
That you just have to know yourself. You have to really analyze yourself and know what you believe in, what you value, and what you really and truly think about controversial issues happening all over the world. Because now it's not just Miss Belize, it's issues in the world. And so it's a much bigger scale that you have to go off. But I think if you discuss it, you know who you are and what you believe in, that the answer it'll come. That doesn't mean you don't have to practice and you don't have to do your research, but as long as you're sure of who you are and what you believe in, it'll come.
Do you have a platform that you're working on, perhaps a particular interest that you want to develop and speak about more when you head into the pageant?
Yes, actually, the domestic violence, especially against women. I mean, with the 16 days of activism, it is very touching to me too, because in Dangriga, I know a lot of people who are facing these issues. And right now, I haven't been able to do a lot of work with it because of the intense training that I've been going through. But every time I make a talk somewhere, I try to incorporate that, that you need to build your confidence and you need to take control of your life. So I try to do a little bit of what I can right now. And when I get back, I hope to really do a lot more.
We've had a few wonderful people, wonderful ladies represented this country already in the pageant that you will be representing us. Have you reached out to these folks? Have they reached out to you? And what's the conversation like there?
I have not actually reached out to any of the past queens. I've reached out to, or a couple of the past Miss Belize contestants have reached out to me, and we've had a little bit of back and forth conversation, but I take advice from them. Maybe they tell me, what to expect and what to do, but I think that going into the pageant, you need to be very sure of you as an individual. You can't mimic what somebody else is doing. Not that they didn't do a phenomenal job, because this is a big deal, but I think you have to bring your own touch to it. So I'm very grateful for the advice that I've been given, though, because this is a completely new venture for me as well.
So you want to do it your way. Yeah. And do they tell you about what to expect when you meet all these girls from across the country, and whether it's really competitive or everybody really becomes best friends from the beginning?
Oh, I don't know. I spoke to Michelle Nunes, who recently represented us
Yeah.
at the Miss America Latina, and she was telling me that, you know, some of these girls will be mean because in their country they've been working since they were little
Yeah.
for this, and so they don't want to make friends, they want to go there and they want to win. And so she said, you know, you just got to be careful, you just got to stay focused and try to like make friends, but if, you know, don't force it, just be yourself and have fun. So that's the plan going
You're
into
from
it.
Danagriga. They're friends with everybody.
Now, what happens over the next couple of weeks? Do you take a break for Christmas or you keep on going?
I think I have a 2-day break for Christmas, probably Christmas and Boxing Day, but I actually leave for the end of my training in the States on Sunday.
Okay.
And that's where I'll finalize my dress, finalize the wardrobe, get everything set, and then from there it's just continuing the walking training and the interview training and making sure that everything is set.
So
It's coming up fast.
for somebody for the young ladies who are actually looking at you and saying, you know what, I'm going to walk in the same footsteps that Rebecca is walking at this particular point, jumping on the health aspect, do you eat anything? What do you
Oh,
have
yes.
to do?
I
Talk
love
to us
food,
about that aspect.
so it's very hard to get me not to eat because I love to eat. You just have to change what you eat.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do portions, and you can't eat fried food. Of course, fried chicken is, don't even think about it. I mean, cookies and sweet stuff, no. You wish you can, but no. You just gotta eat a lot of veggies and you eat healthy. But it's amazing how when you change your diet, you feel so much
Better.
better. Your mind clears up, and you have so much more energy. So it's difficult, especially for the 19th when I saw all the food that's there that I can't eat, but but it's you know, mind control. So
And I really think that's where you being such a competitive athlete obviously helps you. Now, this is interesting because you were in shape when you won. What is different about training your body for Miss Universe versus what you had done as a volleyball athlete?
well, training for sports, I mean, well, for volleyball, you want to jump higher, you want to hit harder. So there's specific muscles that you really target. For Miss Belize, you have to look a certain way, or you have to look, you know, and so you have to analyze your body, look at the parts that you think need work and you need to work on, and that's what you got to work on.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rebecca, there's so much we will want to know about you. There's so much this country would want to know about you. Then again, the support, like you mentioned, is tremendous. You know for a fact that we love you, and of course, we are right there working along with you. Before you leave, is there anybody you want to say thanks to?
Oh, I have a list. So I actually made the notes because I really don't want to forget anybody because everybody has helped me tremendously. So I will start. Maya Islanier, they have been flying me free around the country since I won Miss Belize, and that has been a huge, huge help for me. Sharima Gwiti, my cousin, the Queen of Queens, she is the one that gave me the confidence and motivation to actually do the Miss Belize pageant. I'm forever grateful to you, Sharima. Like I mentioned, Enrique and Victor in San Pedro, they have been helping me and pushing me. Cristel Castillo and Ken, who have been helping me with my training and making sure that my body and diet is right. Nitch, Holly Edgel, Karen Vernon, thank you very much. Miss Holly is part of the social media team. She is awesome. David Mathis is working on my costume for the Miss Universe pageant. Yes. Bowen and Bowen, BTB, Atlantic Bank, Mr. Pierre Abonera, Marie Sharp, Pink Boutique for always making sure that I look my best. Muse Salon for always. Oh, Muse Salon hooks me up every time. My hair, my makeup, they're great. I love those ladies there. MacNab Publishing, you've been with me since the beginning. Eye Candy Boutique and Kristen. Larissa Manor and Fernando Wong in the USA working on the wardrobe and the dress. Thank you very much. Belize Bank. Orange Gallery, Kahal Petch Gift Shop, Rubber Dub Soap. And of course my family, William and Samira Bowman, Norma Bowman, my grandmother Alice Bowman, and my mother. Love you, Mom. My dad, thank you. And my brothers as well. But I don't want to get into trouble with everyone else because no one's help is more important. But I do have two people that I really, really want to single out. And that is Sully Moreno. She lives in Cayo. She's the unofficial head of the Facebook and the Facebook campaign. So she was a fan before she even met me. We met 2 days before the pageant and she was just all out for me. So she's been a huge help. Sully, thank you very, very much. And the other is Eamon Courtney. I've known Uncle Eamon since I was born, and he has been a huge help for this. He's had my back, and he's been very, very supportive, and that has really kept me going. So thank you very much.
And we got a snapshot of Dad happening. He doesn't know that. Behind the scenes as always. You know, it's total behind the scenes conversation here. I asked your dad about you competing in the pageant before Miss
Oh
Belize.
my gosh.
And I got some mixed reactions, right, Dad? And your mom, of course, we've seen her along the way with you. What's it been like for them and going through this journey with them? I mean, they will always see you as number one, but knowing that you have to prepare and compete and all this preparation.
My dad has made a complete 360-degree turn.
Mm-hmm.
When I first told him that I wanted to do the Miss Belize pageant, he was like, "Oh, Rebecca, are you sure? I don't know. Why would you want to do that?" And I guess when he saw that I was very into it and I was working hard towards it, he started to see that, oh, she really wants to do this. Let me support her. And since then, he has been with me on every trip I have made, taking pictures, making sure that everything is documented. He's been a huge help. And of course, testing me along the way with my questions and stuff. And my mother, I always tell people I think she's the real Miss Belize because she's the one that's literally sat beside me, pushed me, and made sure that I'm prepared going into this pageant. So if I don't sleep, she doesn't sleep. So she's special.
Okay. Well, we are so grateful that you stopped in to be able to share with us all that you've been up to. You head out in early January, you said, to the Philippines. And you're still looking for sponsors. If people are interested, how do they get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me via Facebook. Email address is bex@bze@gmail.com. You can send me an email if you're interested. You can contact Queen of the Jewel as well. So there's many ways that you can reach out to us. Belize, I really appreciate your support. I am working my hardest to go out there and do my best to make you guys proud. And so thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, and we hope to see you again before you leave for the Philippines. We're going to go ahead and take a break now, and when...
The pageant is the 29th.